EMX is a royalty company, but we utilize a different royalty business model than the conventional royalty business model. So the conventional business model is to write big checks to buy royalties and oftentimes borrow money to write big checks, so incurring debt. The primary vehicle that we utilize for building our royalty portfolio is prospect generation. So we go out and we acquire the prospective mineral real estate around the globe, do some basic inexpensive geologic explorations on that property, i.e. we do very, very little drilling ourselves, and then we find enough mineralization or signs of mineralization to entice another company to come in and either partner or purchase that property. When we sell or partner that property off, then we hold a royalty back on that property. So we're largely building a royalty portfolio through that organic process. We do supplement our organically derived royalty portfolio with royalty acquisitions when we can find those at favorable pricing valuations, but that's really become quite difficult. And then the third prong of our business model is strategic investment. So if we find a company out there that we think is grossly under-recognized in the market and has a project or projects that we think stands the possibility of having a very outsized return on it, we may invest directly into that company. We did that about 8.5 years ago on a project in Far East Russia. We invested $13 million in that project over 7 years. And then a year ago, last November, we were able to monetize that opportunity, and that yielded $90 million landing in our treasury. So right now, with that money, we're looking for more royalty ground out there to acquire and vend off to partners. We're looking to acquire royalties outright and for other strategic investments. Our wheelhouse is really in gold and copper, but we're willing to embrace any metallic commodity. That could be lead, zinc, silver, which we're involved in a couple of jurisdictions. That could be battery metals, i.e., nickel, cobalt, platinum group elements, things along those lines. We're willing to look at a lot of different commodities. Also, geographically, we're focused on Nevada for copper or for gold, Arizona for big copper. We're active in Turkey. Actually, all of our projects in Turkey are partnered with Turkish partners, so we're not looking to acquire any new properties there at this time. We're very active in Scandinavia, in Norway, and in particular Sweden. And we're also active in Serbia, where we have a large royalty on the Timok project that Zijin Mining is advancing right now. The way we've survived the downturn is very careful management of cash and other resources within the company, and we've also been very careful with our share structure. So we were first publicly traded in December of 2003. So we've been around for 17 years now. We have a share structure of 84 million shares issued and outstanding, and about 90 million shares fully diluted. And also we've worked on building a royalty portfolio, which is a very sustainable business model, which has helped us weather these very difficult downturns in the commodities sector. Well, I can't speak about any pending deals that we might have out there, but we are certainly always on the hunt for more royalty property and royalties outright to purchase outright. So I wouldn't be surprised if we came up with a new royalty or strategic investment in 2020. And I know there's due diligence in the company right now looking at a variety of opportunities. So for Catalyst in 2020, we've got a number of properties and projects that we're engaged in that are looking to move into production or a more elevated state of production. So we're involved in a property called Balya in Western Turkey. It's a lead, zinc, silver property that we hold a 4% net smelter royalty on. That has been in a very low state of production for the past couple of years. That property was recently saw a transfer of ownership to a larger company next door that has a 5,000 ton per day mill, and they'll be advancing that property into a much higher level of production here in the next year or two. And we expect that to cash flow us $1 to $3 million a year, perhaps, here in beginning in the next year or two. We're also involved as a royalty holder on the Timok project in Serbia, which is one of the largest ongoing copper gold discoveries in the world. The Timok project will be the next Grasberg or the next Bingham Canyon. This is a multi-generational mine. They'll be mining this in excess of a century, and we have a 0.5% net smelter royalty on that. And this is going to be a company maker for the company. We've also made a recent investment in a private company that holds the rawhide gold and silver property in Nevada. We spent $3.5 million getting a material interest in that company, and that thing will begin paying us back very quickly. And in the next several years, that should be producing $1 million to several $1 million in cash flow for us.